Today, I'm going to show you some of my favorite makeup swaps. When I turned 50 or 60, I knew that I had to make a change in some of the products I was using. My skin was changing, and I think sometimes we have to adjust to what our skin needs are and kind of what's going on. So in this video, I'm going to show you 5 different swaps, and hopefully they'll help you in getting that glow back. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, number one. This is one of my favorite ones. I swapped from powder foundation, which is right here. The powders just didn't work for me anymore, to a nice liquid foundation with serum. I happen to buy the product that has skincare in it. I always recommend something like that, something a very light foundation, something that's not too heavy on your skin. You see this? I'm just using a couple drops. And just There we go. And then what I do is I just put a couple of drops right on my skin, just like this. And then I just sort of dabble it in. At this age, I don't need a whole lot of coverage because I'm not getting breakouts anymore. But occasionally I do have some redness and a little bit of rosacea. This kind of foundation just does the trick. It's nice and light. And I always recommend that you get something, like I said, that's very light and airy, nothing that's going to be too heavy, because when we get something really heavy and very powdery, it really enhances uh, the fine lines and wrinkles on our skin. And that's something you don't want. So this is one of my favorite swaps. Here we go. See, super simple, gives me a nice little glow. All right. Okay, the next one is the powder blush. This is tried and true. I think I've been using powder blush now for like 40 years or something crazy like that. I don't think I ever moved off of the powder blush until recently when I switched to, this is my swap, the cream blush. Now, I really started falling in love with cream blush because it stayed on a lot longer and it just was so much more everlasting than the powder blush. And plus, the powders, just like I said, are not cutting it for me anymore. So let me show you how I apply it. Now, remember when we were younger and everybody told us to just smile and then put a blush on the apples of your cheeks? Well, that doesn't really work anymore because we're a little bit older and the apples of our cheeks aren't in the same spots as they were before. So when we used to put it right here, I put my blush a little bit higher because we always want to sort of lift up as we get older. And so the higher we go, it's just a little bit of a better spot to put your blush in. So again, did you see how little I dabbed it on? Just a very tiny amount. Little goes a long way. That's what I like also about some of these swaps is you don't have to use a lot of product, right? You just use a little bit and then you can build upon it. You're going to see some others in this video where I have just that, where you can just add a little bit like this, 1, 2, maybe 2.5 little dots of blush, and then let's go ahead and blend it in. I got a really nice blush. I got that at the beauty store. And then you can always add a little bit more, just like that. Very tiny amounts, and just keep building. And then you get a really nice color to your skin. I love that look so much better than bronzer and stuff. I just love the blush. I love adding a little bit of color. I think it gives us a little bit of a rosiness, like we just went out in the sun, and that cream blush is going to do it for you. Okay, so let's get to the next one. Okay, number 3. This is a really fun one. I traded in my eyeshadow palettes, my powder palettes. Occasionally I might use it, but not that much anymore, for these two products, the cream shadow stick and the liquid eyeshadow. I'm going to use one on each eye because I want to show it to you because this is all the rage. I see these everywhere, and I think this is such a fun little product. So this is the cream eyeshadow. Now, you can take it directly to your eye. I don't, because I like to control the color a little bit better. I just put it a little bit on my brush, and then I use my brush to sort of apply it. I find that if I take it directly to my eye, I might have a little bit too much going on my eye, and then it's a little bit too much product. So I can control better doing it this way. So see how nice that looks? And again, these are all over the place. They come in so many different colors. I have so much fun with those. And then of course the liquid shadow. See, this one I'll take directly to my eye because I can control it a little bit better than with the stick. I put it on just like that. And then again, look at how smooth and creamy that is. And the creaminess of the eyeshadow will stay on a lot longer than the powders. So make sure you pick yourself up some of these because these are a lot of fun. Again, buildable, you can add different colors, you can mix and match. I happen to love these eyeshadows. They are just the best invention ever, especially for us older women. Okay, this next one, remember when we used to do eyebrows on fleek? Well, that kind of went out. That's not in anymore. So my swap is the eyebrow pencil. I ditched that a long time ago, and now I use a powder. I use either a palette, you can get those little pots with powder in them, or you can get a palette. It doesn't really matter. I also have a stiff angle brush that I got because the application is so much better and you get so much more of a natural look when you use the powder. Okay, so I just take, and as I apply it, you're going to see how natural I do it instead of that line and then you have to sort of try to blend it. It just doesn't work. So I take my brush and then you see how I'm doing short wispy strokes just like this. And then I just kind of follow the natural curve of my eyebrow. I go around to the end and you see how I'm maneuvering my brush just like that, because I want the color to look as natural as possible and I want it to be evenly spread out, but I don't want that harsh, heavy line. That's why I ditched the eyebrow liner. I also like the versatility of the powder because you can get different colors. In this palette, I have two colors, so I kind of use a combination of both of the colors. I lean heavily on the lighter color just because my hair color is a little bit lighter. And then you see how I'm doing the wispy strokes. If you have a gel, you can go ahead and use the gel that kind of locks in the color of your eyebrows. And that will help it stay a lot longer. Just like that. You see how nice and natural that is? So much better than those silly lines. And I'm going to get right to my all-time favorite. All right, my favorite swap of all is the lipstick. So this was my go-to at one point. Pretty much all of our go-tos at some point is the the whatever the regular lipstick. Okay, I don't really know what you call it. It's just regular lipstick. Some people in my generation were using 24-hour lipstick. Ditch it. Get rid of the 24-hour. It doesn't work anymore. What happens a lot of times with those 24-hour long-lasting lipsticks is they exactly look like the long-lasting lipsticks after about 3 hours because your lips are starting to crack and the lipstick is starting to not kind of look so great. So I ditch those, and this is my favorite thing now is the lip liner. Now you can get pencils anywhere, any place, any store. Lots of different colors, lots of different brands. I had just picked this one up. I happen to like this one. I'll put all the links below in the comments, of course. But I really like this one because it goes on so super creamy. And I like the liner look because you can mix and match colors. And it's not like a heavy lip commitment, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense because it's not a full-on commitment. It doesn't stay on all day long, but that's okay because then you just kind of refresh it. I just happen to love it because it just looks fresh and it looks young and it makes my lips look really good. So let's go ahead and put it on. I do not take my lip liner all the way to the corners anymore because I think when you put them all the way to the corners, it sort of draws attention to the corners and it makes your lips look like it drags them down, kind of gives that illusion. And I don't like that because my jowls are already there and I don't need any more. So we're gonna go for right almost to the corner, just like this. I also like the liner because it helps me define my lips, which makes them look even fuller when I fill them all in. And I just love this. As you can tell, I love this method. Sometimes what I'll do is I will also get like a lighter shade of a pencil and then I will fill it in with lighter shade and then that gives me like an ombre look. So you can really mix and match and play around with these colors. They're just that fabulous. And again, the creaminess of the lip liner is just wonderful. I'm going to fill it in with the same color. Just like that. Look how nice that looks. Just a really nice, natural, pretty look. And then I top it off with a little bit of lip gloss. I got this at the drugstore. It's kind of fun. It's got like a coconut taste to it, which I like. I don't like anything waxy. I don't like feeling like I have to, like it's going to come off. And that's what lip liners don't. They don't transfer on to whatever you're eating, drinking, napkins, that kind of thing. It really doesn't transfer because it's a very light application. And then just do a little bit of lip gloss. How fabulous is that? My favorite swap of all times is the lip liner and lip gloss. Get rid of those 24-hour lipsticks. They're just not working anymore. All right, so that's it. Those are my swaps. I hope you guys got a lot out of this video. I really enjoyed making it for you. And if you have any comments or questions, if you have any swaps, let me know in the comments below so we can kind of talk about it, or maybe give me some suggestions on future videos. I would love to learn and do more videos like this. I love swaps, and I'm thinking about doing more, getting more into them. Skincare swaps are really good. Hair product swaps are great. So I'm going to get more into that. So anyway, I hope you like this video. I'll see you guys on the next one, and have a great day, everybody.